And welcome everybody to episode 25 of Sports and Leisure with Heflins and Heisier. I am your host, Ty Heflin, and with me today is Greg Heisier. Greg, what is going on?
Not much.
Good. It's good to be back. Unfortunately, we had to miss last week. With heavy hearts, me and Steven had a death in the family. So we were unable to get together and record. And unfortunately, Steven is gone. He's on his way to Florida doing something or other, feeding the homeless or changing baby diapers. I really forgot what he told us. So it's just gonna be Greg and I again this week, and we're like I said, we're glad to be here. We kind of feel backed up though because so much has been going on. We have all these sports going on, so like I said, we got a lot to talk about and not much time to do it in. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Greg, did we ever talk about the World Series?
No, we didn't.
Do we want to talk about the World Series? Do we just want to give a congratulations to the Nationals?
Yep, well done. Redskins are sitting there looking like, well, when's ours gonna come?
Yeah, they used to be,
You got the Capitals.
I don't want to say the best. Yeah, I don't want to say the best franchise, but now they definitely can't say that because I think even the NBA WNBA team, the Mystic or whatnot, I think they have a championship too, and now the Capitals and the Nationals and the Redskins are just hoping we can go back to the '80s where they had their championships. It's not looking good. They're terrible.
Yeah, but Washington has been in that loser city for a while now, and they kind of broke that
the
right
last
after
time
Cleveland broke theirs.
Yeah, the last time the Redskins won the Super Bowl?
80 something.
No,
Never.
4 months before I was born. 92. That was the last Super Bowl. Was 92. I was born in May. Haven't won one since. So they'll probably win another one about 4 months after I die. So sorry to all the other Redskin fans. It looks like I am the curse. So I'm like Babe Ruth.
Yeah, I've never seen a good Notre Dame team either, so it's all right.
You've seen plenty of good Notre. You haven't seen one win a championship, but
Well, they're good at like faking it, and then eventually they're like, January,
yeah.
December or January is kind of like the Notre Dame April Fool's Day. They're like, thought we might be good, but we suck.
Well, luckily, other sports I like though have won championships, so I'm not hurting too terribly bad. It's not like I'm a Nebraska fan, I guess. I mean, well, they've won championships. That's whatever. I'm at Notre Dame because you've never seen them win one, and
I've never seen them win a big game. Never in my life. I really haven't. Like, not like a top 8 team like bowl game. I've never seen happen.
Probably the toughest loss I've seen them is when they played USC like back in like 2007. When they had Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and Brady Quinn was the quarterback for Notre Dame, and they lost in that stupid lineman pushing Reggie Bush into the end zone, which I'm pretty sure is illegal now. You can't
Reggie
do that,
Bush pushed what's his name into the end zone, which was illegal at that time, but is now legal.
Oh,
and they didn't call it though, so
yeah,
that's all right. I mean,
I think
it's a fucking touchdown. I think that would be ridiculous.
USC had their comeuppance a couple months later, so. But yeah, that was the one game I wanted Notre Dame to win the most. Probably was when they played USC that year.
Yeah, that was a big year.
I hated.
They had Jeff Samardzija, who pitched for the Cubs for
the Cubs. Yeah,
he might still.
I think he's still pitching actually.
Yeah,
I think he does. Like for the Diamondbacks or something stupid like that.
Zibikowski is a safety and punt returner and Gold Gloves boxer, and we had Harrison Smith, who's now a Viking. So.
Yeah, and like I said, Brady Quinn, who is an analyst now or something like that. Yeah, that was a good Notre Dame team, and was that when Charlie Weiss was the coach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyrone Willingham's I hated recruits that won for him though.
I hated that USC team so bad. I was so happy when Texas won that championship.
Yeah, I
hated you.
They were, what Alabama is now.
Yeah, just not as long, but yeah. Glad the Nationals won. Yeah, a couple years ago. Yeah. Listen, now that the Nationals have won, I wanted them to win. I didn't really want the Astros to win. So even though they did have a good team, they were kind of fun to watch. But I'm glad the Nationals won there. That was good. Like I mentioned
It's
a couple
not
weeks
good for
ago.
baseball, though. You know.
I disagree. Well, even though they did say that was the least watched Game 7
No,
in
it
history
was definitely not good
of
for baseball that they won it.
well, yeah, I don't know if it wasn't good for baseball. None of the games though were that good, except for that. No, that last game wasn't even that good too because they blew it open late. But like none of the games were close. It seemed like. Uh, but I mean, last year's World Series though, when the Red Sox won, the only reason I watched it because it was the Red Sox. But those games really weren't, except for Game 3 when it went to 15, 18 innings. That was the only really close, fun game to watch.
The Red Sox were never really ever in danger of getting eliminated
Now,
the whole playoffs. They were just better than everyone they played. And then
yeah,
they shit the
they
bed
were.
the next year.
Well, yeah. I mean, you had that hangover. It's
No, they're a
yeah.
bunch of
I thought they'd be,
idiots.
and the
They're
pitching,
not
the
winners, that's
pitching just
why.
was absolutely decimated. Everybody, Chris Sale, I don't know if he was hurt or he just had a terrible year. David Price was hurt most of the year. Evaldi was hurt most of the year. Porcello just didn't play well. The only guy that was any good for pitching was Eduardo Rodriguez. And that was it. that was it. They just had not a good year, and I think it's gonna be over now. The team's about to be blown up,
I couldn't tell
especially if
you
they
a
get rid of
single
Mookie.
player on the Nationals or the Astros.
Well, they had
Not a one.
Rendon for the Nationals. Um, uh, uh, Last name is Trey, I think. He plays for the Nationals. There's a bunch of people that play.
I know they have a full
That
team that
Soto
plays for
guy
them, but
or
I don't know
Sanu guy.
him.
Yeah, I can name a bunch of them. But I mean, I play fantasy baseball too, so that helps. If I didn't, I probably wouldn't be able to name any national players. But I do like the fact the Nationals won because Bryce Harper left. That really makes things better.
It's kind of
And
interesting.
like I like Bryce Harper too. I mean, he's not the worst person. I mean, you always get on to me because I don't like brash or outspoken guys, but I like Bryce Harper. But
Is he
I
outspoken?
like the fact that yeah, he is. He's kind of a tool sometimes.
Hmm.
But I like the
He's
fact
been
that he
on a
left and
commercial.
they.
Is that the the line for you? If they're on a commercial, you probably can't like him.
No, I mean just watch like any of his press conferences. He's like, I mean, he's not as bad as Baker Mayfield, but he kind of he'll say kind of just something or another every now and then.
Are there a lot of baseball players that chew tobacco still?
I think so. I mean, if you just watch any game, you can just see them with like just a huge wad in their mouth,
Oh
and even though
yeah.
it's illegal, I think they're not. I don't think they're supposed to allowed to do that, but they always just say it's gum or something like.
Yeah,
But if they,
how are you gonna stop a fucking grown ass man from
yeah,
chewing tobacco? But do you see Steve Belichick on the Patriots sideline with a whole wad
yeah,
in his mouth the whole time?
yeah, yeah. He seems cool. Like yeah. I think I'd like to hang out with Steve
Yeah,
Belichick.
he entertains me. Just I don't know. They need to put the camera on that guy more often.
Yeah, because I mean, his dad's just sitting there mead mugging the whole time. But swing it over to Steve. Let's see him.
It's funny because
That's
he played lacrosse like his dad, and he was a long snapper in football like his dad. Belichick was a long snapper when he
Did they
played.
grow up in Maryland or something?
Well,
Obviously, I'm sure the
his dad
kid
was the
probably
coach of.
Cleveland, and then the Jet, and then the
No, his dad
Jets,
was coach of like the Navy.
the lacrosse team or the football team.
Belichick, the football team.
We talking about Bill or Papa Bill?
Papa Bill.
Oh, okay. He coached Nate. Okay, that
That's
makes
the
sense. Why
original
he's
Steve Belichick. 'Cause Steve had Bill, Bill had Steve. You know what I'm saying?
oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of
And he
sense.
got him
That
like
why?
I don't know. He's just a freaking genius too. He's
Yeah,
not
and
necessarily.
that explains
He's
his
a
demeanor
psycho.
so
That's
much.
why. I mean, he's just
Well, I mean,
intense
and
on
also
all details.
his dad coached the Navy. They had certain that explains so much now. That the way he is the way he is, and I think he's starting to lighten up a little more now, which I kind of like. But
Yeah, it's hard to say
yeah,
that for sure.
that explains a lot. That's cool to know that they play lacrosse. I do wish
Oh, Bill
I was
loves
able to play
lacrosse.
lacrosse.
This is his favorite sport.
Really?
Well, I'm sure he loves football. But I mean,
Probably a
he's
little
passionate about lacrosse. Like that's what he really truly loved to play. Like he was never very athletic, and I mean, as you could tell by probably looking at him, but he
Yeah.
just knew exactly where to be at all the time, and that's just kind of who he is. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Lacrosse is. Do you remember when we used to play lacrosse and PE?
Yeah,
That was so much fun. That was great. That was good. Like I said, I wish we had a lacrosse team in high school. I would have done just about any sport that we have if it was out there. So I just whatever. So yeah, congratulations to the Nationals. Like I said, I was glad to see them winning. Ever since the Cubs won, like teams are just ending droughts left and right with the Blues and the Capitals and now the Nationals and who knows. The Browns won't do that this year. So as we get on to football this year, I do want to brag a little bit on myself in our pick'ems. A couple weeks ago, week 8, I had a perfect week. I had got all 15 games correct. I was very proud of myself. Monday night was a little shaky though because the Dolphins jumped on the Steelers quick and scored 14
yeah, I thought
points.
they were gonna do it.
Nice, Predators just scored. Philip Forsberg. But yeah, I got a little nervous, but honestly, if they ruined my perfect week by beating the Steelers, I wouldn't have been too mad. I think I tweeted that out. So
Then they beat the Jets.
uh,
Sam Darnold.
yeah, and
Fucking
I did pick that,
joke.
and unfortunately the next week, which was last week, week 9, I followed my perfect week up with about 50%, and I got 7 games right. So it wasn't too good, but there are a lot of good upsets, like, and we can talk about the Patriots losing. 'Cause I did pick the Patriots to beat the Rams. I mean the Ravens, and I also picked the Browns to beat the Broncos. So I don't know if you want to get into the Patriots game first or the Browns.
Yeah, whatever you think.
We'll go Browns first. You're more obviously you're more passionate about the Patriots. That's kind of tough to say, but with the Browns losing this game, do you think there's any chance they make the playoffs now?
I'd have to see their exact record. They've lost. They're like what 2-5, right?
Yes.
2-6.
No, they're 2-6 now.
Well, in the AFC, they definitely still have a chance. They're probably one game
They're gonna
out
have
of
to win
freaking
out.
wild card. There's a lot of bad teams in the AFC. I would have to look at the standings, I guess. Raiders are hanging.
Well, I
in there
mean,
too.
maybe, but I mean, with the Chargers and the Raiders, the Chargers getting healthy, they're looking good, especially after they beat the Packers last week. So I mean, they're looking like they're gonna make a run at it, and they're 4-5, and they're playing right now. So I mean, that those two right there are gonna be kind of fighting with the Browns to get that because the Browns definitely aren't gonna win the division. The Ravens have that division pretty much sealed up, I think, because they're 6-2. And who's they gonna look at?
Yeah.
The
What's the wild card look like?
I was just looking it up. The Chargers and the Raiders are going to be in there to fight the wild card. The Bills, they're going to be in there to fight the wild card because I mean, even though theoretically they are only a game back of the Patriots to win the division, but I mean they're not going to win the division. So I mean they're going to have to fight with that. They're going to have to fight with the Colts because the Colts are the Texans because I mean that division
No,
is up for
the
grabs.
Colts are going down. They're not going to make the playoffs.
I mean they're 5-3. They play
Every
the Dolphins
game they've
this week.
played has been within a touchdown. They've been pulling it out of their ass.
Okay. Well,
I'm just saying they're doomed. They're bound to. I mean, they're lucky to be 5-3. I mean, I guess they should be 6-2 because they should have won last game with that field goal that they missed. But nevertheless, they very well could be 3-5 as well. But that could go with a lot of things, you know.
I could go with the Bills. I could see the same thing with going with the Bills as well. But I mean, they're 6-2. They're gonna have to really fall off. And in fact, the Bills play the Browns this week. So, which I think I'm actually gonna pick the Browns because I mean, like this is do or die. They have to win. They have to just about win out. I mean, to go 10-6, 10-6, I think will make the playoffs. 9-7 is gonna be. They're gonna need some help. And
Yeah.
winning this game against the Bills would be helpful because they're gonna have to fight with them, and head-to-head record is a tiebreaker. So I don't see him making the playoffs.
No, I really
mean,
don't either. I just
yeah.
could
Playing devil's advocate, I got it. But losing to the Broncos, who had a backup quarterback, I understand it was in Denver, and the Broncos do have a really good defense still.
But Ty,
You gotta win that
Broncos
game.
are going to be
You gotta win
better
that
with
game.
someone that's not Flacco in there. Just like the Panthers
Agreed.
are better without Cam Newton in there.
I agree, but his first game, I mean, there you got those first game jitters. I mean, you think it'd take a little bit. I mean, it's not like their offense is that good. I mean, they traded away Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, they have Phil Lindsay, but
their defense is,
who else can you
and
name?
Denver held them to like 4 field goals.
Yeah. The defense is good, but I mean, if you're the Browns, you got to win that game. If you have any inkling or thought that you're going to make the playoffs, you have to beat inferior teams, and they didn't do that. So I'm sold that the Browns are going to miss the playoffs, and I wasn't really sold that they were going to make the playoffs at the beginning of the year. I mean, a lot of people said that they were going to come off to a bad start, because they have all these new parts and a new head coach, and the schedule was really tough, and that was before we found out how good the Ravens were. So, yeah, I mean, this is when they're supposed to turn it around.
The Steelers, the Dolphins, the Steelers, the Bengals, the Cardinals, and then the Ravens. They could very easily win every single game till the Ravens, and they already beat the Ravens once.
Yeah,
think about that.
They did. They blew them out.
The Ravens destroyed Patriots.
Exactly.
And the Browns
but you know who is
going
to be thinking about that? The Ravens are going to be thinking about that. I guarantee the Ravens blow them out next time we play them. I can see. I mean, so I think they're going to lose to the Ravens. Is that in That's in Cleveland, isn't it?
But Ty, in theory, like I would have the Browns maybe if they weren't ran like such jackasses. In theory, the team itself, I would have them winning pretty much every game except for the Ravens from here to the end of the year. But like they've shown, they can't do that.
I see them splitting with the Steelers. I just haven't seen anything that gives me any hope that they can go the rest of the way without losing more than 2 games.
Well, if they didn't have those 3 turnovers right in a row, they would have. They were the better team against the Patriots when they played.
Yeah.
Outside those mistakes.
Yeah,
they're just singular plays. Like you know what I mean? Like if you erase those 3 plays from it, that would have been a ball game.
Yeah.
And then the Seahawks they were beating, and then they lost that lead, and the 49ers, that's a whole different thing. They got destroyed. But,
well, like I said, this is good. I'll give them one more. If they come out and they, beat the Bills convincingly, I may turn it around. But like I said, I see them splitting with the Steelers. I see them losing to the Ravens. What are the other games? The Cardinals.
The Dolphins. Yeah, the Bengals, the Cardinals, and the Bengals again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I see them losing 2 more games, which will make them 8-8.
But 3 of their remaining games are against the 2 worst teams in the NFL. If you don't include the Jets in those 2.
Yeah. So, you are a Patriots fan, and you did say you were pretty excited about this last week after the first couple of drives because you like to see the Patriots actually have a challenge, and they haven't really had one. You feeling a little different now after the outcome?
No,
losing by 17.
Absolutely, I'm not feeling any different because the NFL is such garbage that I like to see a team that actually can play, and they may be the only 2 teams in the AFC that can actually play. I guess you got the Chiefs in that situation too, and the Texans. So I guess there's really 4 teams in the AFC. But there's 8 in the NFC.
Yeah. The defense did finally look, not look human.
Well, they've been giving
finally
up,
for once.
They gave up 100 yards rushing to the Browns too. So,
they did give up 37 points.
Yeah, but see,
I think that's that's almost double what they've given up the first 8 weeks of the season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just about.
Well, see, they they have the best cornerback in a lot of people's estimation, cornerback in the league, and
top to bottom, they're great.
But
defensive.
If you think about the Ravens, they're the perfect matchup for us because they have 3 tight ends that all play, and they just have an excellent offensive line. They have Mark Ingram, which is the reason why I figured the Saints would fall off and not make the playoffs.
I looked at him; he's dropped some weight. Machine. He looked slim. Seeing him in that Ravens uniform, it looked like he dropped about 15-20 pounds.
He looks good.
Yeah, he doesn't look anything like he used to. Like with the Saints, he was bulky. I'm not gonna say fat, but I mean he was
Those Saints
bulky.
jerseys look good on you though, or those Ravens jerseys.
Yeah, I guess black is slimming, but he looked good. Yeah, and like you said, a great line. And even when the Patriots do get behind him and give a chance, I mean Lamar is he's just good at getting out of that. I mean,
Well,
getting out of
think about
trouble
this,
and
Ty.
extending the play.
The Ravens in the first half they had a 9-minute drive.
Yeah,
Like
because you run the ball. That's why.
the Ravens,
That's one
they
thing.
had the ball
Yeah.
40 minutes out of the 60. I mean, our offense barely was on the field.
If you can run the ball, that's one thing that stayed constant in the NFL, and that's one thing I like. If you can run the ball nicely and you can, chew up clock and win time of possession, I mean that's good for you. I mean that's gonna translate to wins. And most of the time, good teams are teams that can run the ball. So
Yeah, you control the clock, you control your destiny, which is why Andy Reid can't win shit when it matters.
yeah,
Because the dude, it's like,
yeah,
I don't know if his glasses aren't thick enough or
especially
what, but he's bad at clock
and
management.
especially in the playoffs when it gets cool and it gets cold. I mean, one thing that travels well is running the ball. I mean, that's run the ball always travels can always can play cold and dome whenever. If you run the ball, good things happen. So, like I said, I'm not worried about the Patriots.
Oh, I am. I mean, you really shouldn't have to worry about the Patriots just because they're, the only organization that, like, people seem to know what the fuck they're doing when running them. Like,
Yeah,
everyone else in the NFL
and
seems to
they're
be
good
like a
enough
chicken with their
to.
head cut off. But if they were coach, if they had a different culture, like if they had any other team's culture right here, other than maybe like the Saints, I'd say they have a pretty strong one too. Then they would probably fall apart with the current team that they have. They have no tight end. They're freaking Sony Michel can't freaking run the ball to save his life because our line is terrible.
Yeah.
No tight ends.
Sorry,
We
that
basically
was
have two slot receivers.
Xander just came in the room. Sorry about
That's
that.
all
That's
right.
okay. Poor little guy. So yeah, and also Belichick also can go in there and make changes with the best of them all. He can adjust, and this game is just gonna it's gonna give him fuel that that he can get on everybody and say there's always work to do because
They
there is always
couldn't
work to do.
adjust.
And
That was terrible. Terrible everything in that game, I think. I don't know.
well, and Belichick is one of the guys that he knows they're probably gonna play these guys again in the playoffs, and he's not gonna show all his cards right now. So I mean,
They asked him that in
I,
an interview, and he's like, he blew snot at the reporters like he always does. But he's like, well, they're not on the schedule, so we're not worried about playing them again. It's like,
dang.
well, that's just how Bill is. It's almost
Preds
makes
gave
you
up
fucking
3
angry.
goals
Like
in
I
2
hear
minutes.
all of his. The Preds gave up 3 goals.
3, yeah, they were up 3-2, and then they gave up 3 goals
Oh
in
shit!
the span of 2 minutes, and now they're down 5-3. Yeah, I can see what you say though. He doesn't. He was raised in the Navy, so I mean there's a lot he's not gonna give. He's not gonna show, and yeah, I mean I'm sure he already has a plan on how to stop Lamar if they do meet in the playoffs. So yeah, like I said, he looked. Like I said, Patriots are they're obviously going to make the playoffs, and they'll probably go at least to the NFC Championship game. I predicted earlier that they're not going to go to the Super Bowl, just because I mean statistics. But I mean I'm not going to be at all shocked if they do make the Super Bowl and win it. So I mean I was just trying to make some bold statements there at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to try and stick to them as long as possible. So
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Yeah, we'll find out about the Patriots playing the Eagles and Texans and
they do
Chiefs up
have a
next. So.
yep, they do have a great little stretch here. We'll see just how really good they are. We'll get to show that defense to the test.
They part of their success is they've been playing really terrible teams, so they can be really
Yeah,
aggressive and just kind of show off their thing.
like they've had
Because
the
there's
opposite of the Browns
incompetency
schedule.
like you wouldn't believe.
Like the Browns' early schedule has just been the complete opposite of the Patriots' early schedule. Like Browns are playing just about every week a playoff team from the last year or this year, and the Patriots have been playing just the bottom 5 teams. It seems like every week. I mean,
that was the easiest first half of a season schedule in NFL history.
yeah,
I don't think you could ever find anything worse than that.
Yeah. Are you watching? We'll transition a little bit over to early season NBA here. I know you're watching the Celtics right now. What's the score of that game?
Oh, 101-78 winning. They're playing Charlotte.
101-78. I mean, Charlotte's okay.
Is there?
But
it must be twins. Yeah. Huh. Weird. They were showing this guy. They had the screen split, and it looked like the same guy on each side. I'm like, what's the point of doing that? But I guess they're twins.
Was it the Morris twins?
No, it was. They're like identical.
They still play for the Suns.
No,
who do they play for? I want to be in one of those guys' contract rooms.
Well,
like
one of the
discussing contracts.
One of the Morris guys played for the Celtics last year. Now he plays for the Knicks.
I mean, they've always played together, though, haven't they? Didn't they play? I'm almost positive they played for the Suns together. I know they weren't drafted to the same team, but like I feel like they played in the NBA together for a couple years, and I feel like they make it a point in their contract that they had to go sign their twin brother. But that's just my opinion.
I think that's been a while.
A couple of things. I am surprised at the Lakers. How well it seems that they've put it together. Dwight Howard looks like he just, dang, Avalanche scored again. 6-3, not what I was hoping for. Dwight Howard looks like he's turned the clock back about 15 years. Looks like he's back in Orlando when he was just a man among boys, and like I said, he's looked good. It looks like the Lakers got him for a steal now, and LeBron, I'm sure he's just probably a little agitated because everybody's giving Kawhi best player of the year. I mean, not year of the year, but in the NBA. So, I mean, he's kind of got a chip in his shoulder. They have some white bald guy that's playing well. Makes me have some hope there. So, yeah, like I said, the Lakers look good. They put it together as quickly this season as I thought they would. I think they've lost that first game to the Clippers, and they've done well since then. So, I mean, they're looking. Them and the Clippers are looking like obviously the two best teams in the league, and I mean, do you see anybody else anywhere near them?
No, it's kind of what we expected. Well, the 76ers
I guess
up there. The Bucks could get there. Well,
yeah.
I'm not saying they're on that level, but
to challenge them at least.
The
Celtics do.
I'll
give you that. They do.
Really
they do look good. Jesus. Dang.
8-3.
I had such high hopes for that game too. They needed to win that game because it's whatever. Yeah, the Celtics look good. I think shipping Kyrie out and they're getting him done. They're looking back on that as one of probably the worst decisions they've made in a while. I think Kemba Walker is going to be such a better duo to go with Gordon Hayward than Kyrie ever was, and not to mention now that
absolutely.
Now that they've drafted, I think Grant Williams. I think drafting him is going to be one of the better things that they've done. And they also have Taco Falls or whatever. Has he played much? Has he played much at all?
He ain't gonna play. He played. Shit, I don't know. I feel like someone got hurt, so he played a little bit. And it's funny watching all the other players like freak out when Taco Fall, like when he makes a basket.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I don't know. The whole Celtics bench is just like laughing. It's like a fucking circus to them.
I think Grant's been playing a little bit, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's been playing well. There's a lot of Boston radio talk about whether or not he's good. Like some people are like really impressed with him, and some people
he's definitely and he's not gonna. Yeah. I mean, with the NBA, he's not gonna probably blow you away offensive wise, but I think he's gonna be a good defender. I think he's gonna do the little things right. I think he's gonna be a good fill-in. I think he's gonna be good with that team. Let Gordon and Kemba do their thing, and he kind of he'll get some rebounds and play some lockdown D. And I think he's a good fit over there. I mean, yeah, he went to Tennessee, and I think he should have been drafted a little higher. I was hoping
Well, he was the
Yeah,
SEC
exactly.
Player of
I
the
don't
Year
know.
like 2 years in a row, wasn't he? I mean, if you get that,
Yeah,
then you're
I mean, yeah,
not. He's no
exactly.
chump
So,
for sure.
uh, I think he's gonna be good there, and and I was hoping it wasn't gonna seem biased just because he did go to Tennessee, but I think he's gonna be good. Usually, Tennessee has put out a lot of good
No, I
NBA
like him.
players. So I'm hoping he's the next one. Um, but I mean, no big surprise here. But Houston already at each other's throats. I've seen uh, Harden and Westbrook get into each other. Like I think it was like the second game of the season. They're already having words on the sidelines. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they miss the playoffs. I mean, they probably will make it just because I mean they
Yeah, I
have the
wouldn't
talent. I
either.
mean they're obviously gonna make it. But I mean I don't see them getting higher than like a 6 seed. So what you think?
Who's that now?
The
Who are you talking
Rockets.
about again?
Yeah, I don't see them getting
Oh yeah. No, I mean
figured out.
they gotta
I
figure
mean,
it out. They'll
yeah,
figure it out.
maybe. I just don't see them working well together. I've said it 100 times. I just don't.
Well, I know Harden has a hard time of not like he's just used to having the ball so much. And that's the problem. That was the problem with the Celtics. You know, they had
Too
too
many,
many
too many Chiefs, not
guys
enough
that
Indians. Yeah,
wanted the ball. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yep. And that was the problem. And when you can't play enough minutes in a row, you can't really get in that run. And that's just a balancing act that they're gonna have to figure out. But
yeah. I mean, they're
I
giving
think
up
they
the
will
third
figure it out.
most points per game already. But I think they're like first or something like that in points per game. Uh, they're third in points per game.
Well, surprising.
They're
You'd
third in
think
points
they'd be better
behind.
on defense. I mean, you'd think Westbrook
He's
would
getting
make
too
them a
old though.
better
I mean, I think
defensive
Chris
team,
Paul
but
made him a better
he
defensive
hasn't.
team than Westbrook has. Chris Paul, I think he kind of got screwed over there a little bit, but I mean that's just my opinion. So, uh, yeah, but I think the Warriors they're done. So especially with the Warriors getting hurt this year, I honestly think they just need to tank this year and get like a top five draft pick or try to get a top five draft pick, and draft a younger. I mean, I can't. You can't say the next KD because those don't come around every year. But get a good top five player to throw in there with Steph and what's his face. Yeah, Clay. I was blanking on the name. And Clay
Clay.
and Draymond, and maybe pick up a good free agent. There's always a couple good free agents that want to come over there. So yeah, I think they just need to flip the page on this season and just I mean they've been in the finals the last 5-6 years. They can afford to have one bad season due to injury because that's all it is. So I mean even if I don't know what Steph broke his hand, right? I don't know what his timetable
Yeah.
is on that
Yep.
return, but I mean I'd say at least a month or two maybe. I mean depending on which hand it is it the right or the left? Okay, it
I
must
thought
be
I
his
saw
dominant
like
hand
3
then,
to
so he
4
probably can't
months.
shoot with that. Yeah, just shut him down for the year. And same thing with Clay. Just I mean, maybe Clay can come back. I think they said at the beginning of the year, like the new year, like 2020. So I mean, maybe put him back in there. But I wouldn't. I try to shoot for that top five draft pick. I mean, what's their record now? Hold on. They're 2-6.
Well, that's why Draymond Green is like,
They may
oh well,
even.
y'all are gonna be
I'd
hurt. I'm
even
gonna
look at trading
pretend like
him.
I'm hurt too.
I mean, he's not the Draymond Green that they had when a couple years ago, like 3 years ago. He just the last 2 years he hasn't been that good. I mean, I'd look at shopping him around, see what you can get for him. I mean, yeah, I'm just
No. I think part of his
I mean,
problem
you could be
is
right.
KD was on the
Yeah,
team.
I just throwing that out there. I've also heard that Andre Iguodala, the other AI, it's almost a foregone conclusion that he's going to sign with the Lakers. Which I was really hoping the Memphis Grizzlies would find a way
Oh
to keep
really?
him. I thought he would have been just what they needed in there to help them, maybe make the playoffs. But if I was him, I wouldn't want to go there and play for a team that probably won't, but is a fringe playoff team at best. If I was him, I'd be trying to chase another ring too. So I can't really blame him. But That's just the way it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. So, any other surprise you've seen in the NBA that you want to throw out there?
Oh, not really. Too early.
It is way too early. So I mean, but just some good little observations I've seen, just kind of keeping up with it the last couple of weeks. I think I'll probably follow the NBA more this year than I have in the last couple of years, just because I think it's gonna be an interesting season. It's gonna be a lot of parity. It's gonna be a lot of wait and see with a lot of teams that got new parts. So for once, I mean, in a long time, there isn't one team that's got three superstars on it. I think I don't want to say the era of the big three is kind of over, just because you can never say that. But most teams just have two dudes that are really good. Like, I mean, you have the Knicks that have Kyrie and KD, and you got the Lakers that have AD and LeBron, and the Clippers have Kawhi and George, and a lot of guys just have two dudes and trying to fill out the rest of it. So it's gonna be a good year, I think.
Yeah, it's been too obvious what's gonna happen, so it's not
Yeah.
very interesting with the Warriors.
All right. Well, any other
But yeah, it's different now.
anything sports that you want to go over that we kind of glossed over or something like that?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think about hockey? Anything to note?
No real surprises there so far. I am a little bit surprised. Well, not really. I was going to talk about the Jets, but I mean we kind of thought that they would be as good this year, but Vancouver. That I knew there was one surprise. Vancouver's looked really good so far this year. They got some good offense. They might finally have a little defense there too. Vancouver's looked well. I think the Preds played them in a week or two. Edmonton finally looks like they have. I don't know if it's just Connor McDavid that's carrying them mostly, but Leon
mostly.
Yeah, Leon the professional. He's a good second fiddle there to.
Oh yeah, him and Draisaitl are freaking. Yeah. They're intensely good. What the biggest surprise to me is the Devils.
They're starting to turn it back up though. They've won a couple games. They're, like I said, they're starting to turn it back around a little bit, but it looks like they have won. The Preds won the PK trade there. I know it wasn't 1-for-1 for him and Duchesne, but that's
Yeah, how did PK is always he's one of the higher paid defensemen. So how is it that when you get him, your team is?
worse, just like any other sport. I mean, it's a team game. Before. I mean, there's 18 other guys that he's got to play with. That Yeah, everyone, I mean Taylor Hall, I guess, probably just hasn't played that well, and they traded away Hughes, didn't they? So I mean, I think they're kind of no, they didn't trade away Hughes, but I think they'll figure it out. I mean, all the underlying stats and statistics show that they're starting to turn around and figure some things out. I mean, they do have a lot of new pieces. I think that they kind of had to figure things out. I mean, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll fight for a playoff spot. Yeah, like I said, Vancouver. The Avalanche. I know the Avalanche are playing the Preds tonight in their
conference finals.
Get the crowd kicked out of them. It's like 8-3. But the Avalanche, this might be a turnaround because after they lost Landeskog, who's their captain, he got hurt. They were like 1-4-3 in like the last 8 or 9 games. They just fell off a cliff. They lost to the Stars twice. They lost to a bunch of teams. The Avalanche.
Who are you saying here?
Yeah, after they lost their captain, it's just been kind of a free fall. So, but yeah, that's just like I said, it's still early in hockey season, so I'm not really quite ready to
write anyone off yet.
Yeah, except for maybe the Blackhawks.
Just like the Blues last year, they're the worst team and they won it.
Yeah, and they've jumped off and they've played
in January.
They've played pretty well so far this year. I think they're leading the Central. So. What was I gonna say? Did you see the 30 episodes, favorite episode, best episodes of Seinfeld? I think it was vote. They have a Twitter account that I follow, and they had their fans vote on their favorite episodes, and they did a top 30. How many episodes are there of Seinfeld? Are there over 100? They have 9 seasons. I think it's close to 100. They probably got close to 100. I'd say at least 90. But they did a top 30 Seinfeld episodes. Number 30, we're not going to go through all 30, but number 30 was Serenity Now, which is one of my favorite episodes. I think it's higher than 30. But number 1 was The Contest. Number 2, The Soup Nazi. Marine Biologist 3, The Opposite. And then the Merv Griffin Show is top 5. And I don't really find anything wrong with that top 5. What about you? What's your favorite episode, first of all?
I wish I had that picture as a reference to kind of tell you what I think, but
check our group chat. It's in that.
I don't know. They're all so good. It's like, I don't know. It's like asking me what my favorite like Dorito is, or singular Dorito is in a bag of Doritos. It's like they're all Doritos. Yeah.
Like, the Contest is probably my favorite, so I think that's good at number 1. And then the Soup Nazi, that's just a good number 2. I think that's a great episode. The Marine Biologist, that's a good one. The Chicken Roaster, that's number 8. I think I might put that in the top 5 if I had to make some changes. I do love that episode. I love Jerry having to go live in Kramer's apartment, and like he just starts to turn into Kramer. He's sliding into doors, and he's got the hand gestures down. He's like, that red eye just burning his brain. So I
like the pilot episode.
Oh, that didn't even make it. I don't think that made it at all.
I don't think the first season was even considered in that.
No,
list.
Probably not. Like I said, the Chicken Roaster, the Chinese restaurant. That's another classic one that made the top 10. And the Hamptons made the top 10. A couple of
I like the Summer of George.
What summer? That was 23. I think that needs to be up a little more too.
I like the one where Kramer repaints the highway.
Oh, I forgot what episode that is. Yeah, when he adopts the highway. Yeah, and he picks it up and whatnot. The Junior Mint is 14. I think that needs to be up a little higher. And the Parking Garage is 12. And I think that needs to go up a little higher as well. But I mean, it's hard to really, say one episode doesn't belong, and it can be lowered. I mean, that's just Seinfeld. They have a lot of. Sorry. It's just a lot of good episodes. It's hard, like you said, it's like picking your favorite child or your favorite Dorito. It's tough to do. So. You said you couldn't.
Who's your favorite child?
I don't have. I mean, both of my children. I love them equally. If you ask my wife, though, she'll tell me it's the boy. It's Xander, but no, it's
no one.
That's just because I can play with him. I mean, he's at the age where I can mess around and he can play with me. I mean, Nova, she's 7 months. She can't really do much, but
yeah, baby has nothing to offer really except cuteness.
She just.
But really, that's all I need. That's all they owe the world.
All she does is watch the Croods. Speaking of that, I am pretty excited about this Disney Plus that's coming out. Have you seen that?
I'm not aware of what's included.
Like every Disney movie ever. Plus, there's a bundle that you can get Hulu and ESPN with it as well. So I mean, if you guys. Disney Plus, if you're listening and you want to throw us an offer for advertisement, I'd be glad to throw in a pitch every week for you guys, which I'm about to do anyway. So yeah, you can get like ESPN and Hulu. So we're definitely gonna get it just because, like I said, I'm tired of watching the Croods on Netflix. I want a little variety. So and there's a bunch of like the old Disney movies that used to come on Disney Channel that I haven't seen in like 10 years, and like the Disney shows I think are gonna be on there too, like Even Stevens. and then they're gonna reboot a couple of them too. I think they're rebooting Lizzie McGuire show.
See, oh
Yeah.
really? See, to me, Ty, I don't have any kids, so I'm just kind of saving it. And a lot of people, like when they have kids, it seems to be that there's always just like annoying cartoons on
Oh,
the TV.
agreed.
So basically, what I'm doing is I'm saving the cartoons that I used to love, and my kid's just gonna be, forced to watch that.
Yeah, my kids really, like I said, we just watch a lot of movies. Not too many cartoons. Xander likes Mickey Mouse, so we kind of watch that. But Nova,
What do they do with Mickey Mouse? They make movies.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and there's a couple TV shows. And the Roadster Racers.
Oh. At least you're not Thomas the Train.
No.
That's the worst show ever.
Yeah, that are.
Have you ever watched that?
In like 30 years. Or that bald
awful.
kid. What's his name? Kalu or Kalu or whatever. He looks insufferable. So I hope my kids never get into that. Yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, one other thing. But yeah, I think you should get a Disney Plus just because that's gonna bring back some good memories. I think. Just don't. I think, and Jocelyn, I think would like it too. So, one other thing I want to ask you, Greg, is if you had to change your name, if you had to legally change your name, your first name, not your last name, you're stuck being a Heesier. Sorry. What would you change your first name to?
Max Power.
Max Power Heesier.
Like Homer.
Max Power. Yeah, that's just a good strong name. Like, and you just call yourself Max. Yeah.
Just my first name.
Your first name is, so it'd be Max Power or Steven Heesier. Yeah, just your first name is what you'd have to change. But if you want to go first and middle, I'll gladly accept that because that's a good choice. I'm kind of mad I didn't think of that. Max Power.
It's hard to say.
It is very. I mean, because I like my name, and obviously it'd be hard to go.
Easy to
spell. It's easy to spell. That's one thing I like about it. Whenever I have to sign my initials or something at work, I just sign my name.
It's kind of it's kind of confusing though because you can spell a tie.
Oh
in
yeah,
ways.
People misspell my name all the time. Nobody believes it's Ty. Yeah,
Literally.
Like if we go to Chick-fil-A or we go out to eat and they give me a name and I give my name Tye every time. Remember our biology teacher, Mrs. Duncan? She always spelled my name Tye, and I told her 100 times it's just Ty. It's not Tye, and she continued to put Tye. I'm like, oh, Mrs. Duncan, you're killing me over here.
That's never a name ever. Like
I know, I've never seen it Tye.
Does that even exist?
I've never seen it.
I don't think
I've never seen it Tye. I mean, look at the guy from Trading Spaces. Ty Pennington. He spells his name Ty. And then there's dang it,
TIE too.
Yeah, that's a tie.
TY.
There's also a running back for Tennessee. His name is Ty Chandler. Ty. I've never ever seen it spelled Tye anywhere. So.
Ty Montgomery.
Yeah. Ty Montgomery, exactly.
Ty Anderson.
Exactly. Who's that corner? Who's that corner for the
Sports
Patriots a couple years ago? Ty Law. Ty. Never seen Tye ever. So it's just straight Ty.
No, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Tye is
It's
not
dumb.
a name.
So, if I had to change my name, I don't know. I think Mookie sounds cool. I think I'd do Mookie.
My cat's already named Mookie.
I thought it was Meowky. I do like the name Xander. That's why I gave it to my son.
Pearl Jam wanted to be Mookie Blaylock. Used to be a Cubs player. That's what they wanted to name their band at first.
That's
Yeah, but Xander, you like?
Yeah, I do,
Xander,
and
yeah,
I gave it to my
like
son. I
Xander.
tried to originally have his name be TJ for Ty Jr., but my wife didn't like that. So, which I mean, I think she regrets now because he's so much like me. So she always calls him Ty Jr. anyway. So, I do like that name. I also like Dash, but
He could change his name. I mean,
I'm not fast enough.
He ain't old enough for anyone to be like have to readjust everything.
I would like to change my name to Dash, but I'm not fast enough. I don't think I'll ever be fast enough to be called Dash. So, yeah,
Dash.
like off of The Incredibles, I do like that name. So,
How about Tyga?
TYG, yeah. I mean, I could start dating a Kardashian, maybe.
Or Tiger. Maybe Tiger.
No, I think that's taken. I can't. Nobody can ever beat Tiger. That's just, yeah. So you go with Max Power. That's pretty good. Well,
I don't know if I'd really go with
it's
that.
powerful.
Yeah, we'll
It's powerful. It'd be tough not to go by that. I mean, you would command power and presence whenever you walked into a room with a name like Max Power. So,
and I'm all about power.
Yeah. All the girls would look at you with that name. So,
I'll be 7 feet tall.
Okay. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us this week. Go on, please send us your name changes that you would like for your new name if you had to change your name. If you have any other questions or any other thing that you want us to go into, go on and send us an email at sportsandleisurepodcast@gmail.com. Like our page on Facebook. You can comment and send us something on our wall on Facebook there too. Follow us on Twitter. You can follow me and Greg on Twitter as well. And that's about it. Anything you have to plug, Greg? You going to be anywhere anytime soon?
Nope. I'll be right here.
Right there. Okay.
In your headphones.
Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in for this week's episode. We hope you tune in next week to episode 26. Hope you guys have a good week, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Sports and leisure heflings, and leisure sports and leisure heflings, and leisure sports and leisure with heflings and leisure sports and leisure heflings. And leisure sports, and leisure heflings, and leisure. This is sports and leisure with heflings and leisure.